Okay, so my name is the Math Train, and today we're going to be doing solving quadratic equations by the quadratic formula. And you can see up here, the formula's up here, and we are solving for x-intercepts, roots, and zeros. They just mean the same thing, it's just different words for talking about the same thing. So x-intercept, roots, and zeros, that's what we are solving for. And here is a diagram about what we're solving for, so that those would be the x-intercepts. And let's begin. So we have the quadratic formula, which is x equals negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. The discriminant is everything under the square root. So as you can see here, the discriminant's labeled there. If just the discriminant is negative, then we have two imaginary roots. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to be taking quadratic equations in the standard form, and we're going to input these values into the quadratic formula and solve for x-intercepts. So use the quadratic formula to solve each question. So we have the quadratic formula up here, just in case you need a reminder. So we have x equals negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. And then we input our values for so we have the formula. We have the quadratic formula, and then we're going to input our values of a, b, and c. All over 2a. Okay, so we input the values of a, b, and c for right here. We inputted the values of a, b, and c, and then we simplified what was underneath the square root, and all the multiplication, the exponents, the coefficients, and then we simplified that, and then we simplified the square root under here, and then we have our final answers as well. Alright, so our answers are x equals 2 and x equals negative 5. So we have a, b, and c. And then we need the quadratic formula as well. Negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. So we have the formula, and then again we're inputting the values of a, b, and c into the quadratic formula. And then we're going to simplify. So it's 29 plus or minus 841 plus 120 all over 2. And then we have our final answers, which is 29 plus or minus the square root of 961 over 2. And then we have our therefore statement. We input this into our calculator. So we have x equals 30 and x equals -1. So we have x equals 30 and x equals -1. So we have A, B, and C. And then we have the quadratic formula, -b plus or minus, then b squared minus 4ac over 2a. And then we're going to input values of a, b, and c into the formula. And then we're going to be simplifying the equation. So this would be 15 plus or minus, and we're going to simplify the discriminant. And therefore our values of x equals 8 and a value of x equals 7. And those are our final answers. Okay, so we have A, B, and C. And then we have our formula, -b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac over 2a. Then we're going to input our A, B, and C values. Okay, so we're inputting A, B, and C values, and then we're simplifying the discriminant. And then we have -3 and -10. So our final answers here will be x equals -3 and x equals -10. Moving on. So we have our values of a, b, and c, and then we're going to do our formula, which is -b plus or minus square root of b squared minus 4ac over 2a. And then we're going to input our values of a, b, and c into the quadratic formula. So our answers would be 5 and 4. Moving on. Okay, so we have our values of a, b, and c. So we have our formula, which is -b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a negative 16, because that's the value of b, plus or minus -16 squared minus 4, 1 and 64 over 2, 1. And then we have 16, because two negatives cancel out. 16 plus or minus. Then we simplify the discriminant. To, 256 minus 256 over 2. So we have 1600 plus or minus the square root of 0 over 2. We have x equals 16 plus or minus 0 over 2. And then we have 16 minus 0, 2. Pardon me if I said something wrong, but 16 over 2 equals 8. So this means that it's an order of 2, so our x-intercepts would be x equals 8 and x equals 8. Thank you very much, and I hope you found this helpful.